It was the winter of 2022 when the world held its breath, gazing anxiously at the unfolding events in Kyiv, Ukraine. A storm was brewing on the horizon as tensions escalated between Russia and Ukraine. Little did anyone know that this clash of ideologies and territorial ambitions would erupt into the defining moment of a generation, the Battle of Kyiv. Once a city known for its vibrant culture, rich history, and bustling streets, Kyiv now found itself at the epicenter of a cataclysmic conflict. As the Russian forces amassed the city's outskirts, the people of Kyiv braced for what would become a battle for their very survival. The fate of a nation rested on the shoulders of its brave defenders, who stood resolute in the face of an unyielding adversary. Amidst the chaos and turmoil, the Battle of Kyiv was more than just a clash of military might. It was a clash of spirits. Ordinary citizens turned into unsung heroes, displaying acts of extraordinary courage in protecting their homeland. The city's heartbeat echoed with defiance, as even the youngest among them knew they had to stand up and be counted. This was a battle for their freedom, their way of life, and their future. Join us on this gripping journey as we witness the rise of heroes and the sacrifices made by ordinary people who stood shoulder to shoulder with the military to defend their homeland. The Battle of Kyiv became a crucible, forging bonds of solidarity that transcended borders and brought nations together in unity. This is Battle of Kyiv, Russian invasion of Ukraine, an electrifying chronicle that will leave you on the edge of your seat, reminding us all of the price of freedom and the strength found in unity. Let's dive into the heart of the battle. Historical context. To comprehend the complexities of the Battle of Kyiv, we must first delve into the historical context and long-standing tensions between Russia and Ukraine. The roots of this conflict can be traced back to their shared history, independence, and territorial disputes. The Kievan Rus, a medieval state, laid the foundation for both Russian and Ukrainian identity, creating cultural and historical ties that have had a lasting impact on the relationship between the two nations. One of the significant flashpoints in the historical context is the controversial transfer of Crimea from the Russian Soviet Federative Socialist Republic to the Ukrainian SSR in 1954. This transfer has been a point of contention and fueled separatist sentiments in the region. Additionally, the dissolution of the Soviet Union in 1991 led to Ukraine declaring its independence, further straining relations with Russia. The struggle for national identity and the desire for closer ties with the West exacerbated the tension between the two countries. The rise of pro-Russian sentiments in Crimea and eastern Ukraine resulted in separatist movements seeking autonomy and closer ties with Russia. This gave rise to territorial disputes and internal conflicts within Ukraine. The annexation of Crimea by Russia in 2014 further escalated tensions and marked a turning point in the relations between the two nations. The international community condemned Russia's actions, leading to significant geopolitical repercussions. Prelude to battle. The Battle of Kyiv did not happen in isolation. It was the culmination of escalating hostilities and military buildup along the Ukrainian borders. This section will explore the events leading up to the battle, the mobilization of troops, and the strategic objectives of the Russian military. As tensions escalated, the amassing of Russian forces near the Ukrainian border raised concerns about a potential large-scale invasion. Kyiv's significance as the capital and cultural heart of Ukraine made it a strategic target for Russian forces. The international community closely monitored the situation, and various diplomatic efforts were made to prevent further aggression. Sanctions were imposed on Russia, but the situation remained volatile, leading to heightened military readiness in the region. Both Russia and Ukraine intensified military drills and exercises, showcasing their preparedness and determination. The situation was on a knife's edge as the world held its breath, fearing an all-out war with dire consequences. As the world anxiously observed, the mobilization of troops and military assets on both sides created an atmosphere of uncertainty and fear. Intelligence reports indicated an imminent offensive, and Kyiv became the focal point of international concern. Diplomatic channels strained to prevent the escalation, but the situation continued to escalate with each passing day. The countdown to the battle had begun. The battle unfolds. The Battle of Kyiv was characterized by intense military engagements, urban warfare, and significant challenges faced by both sides. This section will provide a detailed and chronological account of the battle. As the invasion commenced, Russian forces launched airstrikes and attempted to breach Kyiv's defenses. Ukrainian military personnel showed great bravery in defending their capital and resisting the invaders. The city of Kyiv witnessed fierce urban warfare, with both sides fighting for control of key locations and infrastructure. The civilian population bore the brunt of the conflict, facing the horrors of war in their own neighborhoods. Humanitarian corridors struggled to be established, leaving civilians trapped and vulnerable. The world watched in horror as the battle took its toll on the innocent, and calls for peace grew louder. International military advisors and support played a crucial role in bolstering Ukraine's defense, offering expertise, intelligence, and humanitarian aid during the battle. The Ukrainian armed forces, outmatched in terms of sheer numbers, demonstrated remarkable tenacity and resourcefulness in holding their ground against the Russian onslaught. The human cost. Amidst the chaos and destruction, the Battle of Kyiv took a devastating toll on civilians and soldiers alike. This section will shine a light on the human cost of the conflict and the profound impact it had on communities. The civilian population in Kyiv and surrounding areas experienced unimaginable suffering and loss of life during the battle. The violence and fear of further escalation led to civilian casualties and mass displacement. Personal stories of survival, heroism, and resilience emerged from the conflict, showcasing the indomitable spirit of the Ukrainian people in the face of adversity. Humanitarian organizations and medical personnel worked tirelessly to provide aid and support to those affected by the conflict. The psychological trauma inflicted upon the civilian population, especially children, left scars that would last a lifetime. Para 3. The strain on healthcare facilities and humanitarian organizations was immense, with the urgent need to provide aid and support to those affected by the conflict. The international community rallied to provide humanitarian assistance, but the scale of the crisis overwhelmed even the most comprehensive relief efforts. The human cost of the Battle of Kyiv served as a stark reminder of the far-reaching consequences of war. Turning point and resolution. Every battle has its turning point, and the Battle of Kyiv was no exception. This section will delve into the events that led to the resolution of the conflict and the eventual de-escalation. The impact of international sanctions and political pressure played a significant role in influencing Russia's military actions and decision-making during the conflict. Diplomatic initiatives and negotiations were actively pursued by the international community to find a peaceful solution to the conflict. The talks aimed to bring an end to the violence and restore stability in the region. As the battle raged on, diplomatic efforts intensified, with mediators seeking common ground between the conflicting parties. The eventual ceasefire agreement marked a critical turning point, allowing for a cessation of hostilities and paving the way for diplomatic negotiations to de-escalate the conflict. The international community played a pivotal role in facilitating the talks, pushing for a peaceful resolution that would prevent further loss of life and devastation. Geopolitical implications. The Battle of Kyiv had far-reaching geopolitical implications that extended well beyond the borders of Ukraine. This section will explore how the conflict reshaped international relations and influenced global politics. The invasion brought the strained relations between Russia and the West to a breaking point, leading to an unprecedented rupture in diplomatic ties and the imposition of harsh sanctions. The European Union, NATO, and the United Nations played a significant role in shaping the international response to the conflict. The situation reignited debates over the expansion of NATO and the need to counter aggressive actions by nation-states. The Battle of Kyiv also exposed the vulnerability of post-Soviet states to Russian aggression, leading to increased support and military aid to these nations from the international community. It highlighted the importance of collective security and the need for nations to stand together against external threats. Lessons learned. As the dust settled and the conflict de-escalated, the Battle of Kyiv left behind crucial lessons that must not be forgotten. This section will reflect on the lessons learned from the conflict and their relevance for preventing future conflicts. One of the most significant lessons was the importance of early diplomatic efforts and conflict resolution mechanisms to prevent escalation. The Battle of Kyiv also underscored the critical role of international cooperation and humanitarian aid in mitigating the human cost of war. It highlighted the need for stronger measures to protect civilians during armed conflicts and ensure their access to essential services and support. The conflict also brought to light the role of disinformation and propaganda in shaping public opinion and fueling tensions. The battle demonstrated the importance of media literacy and critical thinking in a world where information can be weaponized. As we conclude this gripping journey through the Battle of Kyiv, Russian invasion of Ukraine, we are reminded of the indomitable spirit of humanity and the resilience of those who faced adversity head-on. If you found this documentary as compelling and eye-opening as we did, don't forget to hit the like button to show your appreciation for the brave defenders and the ordinary citizens who rose to be heroes. Subscribe to our channel for more insightful documentaries and in-depth explorations of historical events that shaped the course of nations. By subscribing, you'll stay informed and engaged with the stories that need to be told. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to all those who shared their stories, experiences, and expertise to make this documentary possible. Your contributions to the preservation of history and the celebration of human courage are deeply valued. Remember, the Battle of Kyiv is not just a distant memory. It is a testament to the strength of the human spirit and the importance of standing up for what we believe in.